Hi, and welcome to Xander's Bad Grammar. Today we are covering the four conditionals: 0, first, second, and third. Each conditional has an if clause, the condition, and a main clause, the result. The order of clauses is not fixed. If I practice, I will improve. I will improve if I practice. So, if you're ready, let's jump in. Okay, 0 conditional. We use if plus present simple for the condition and present simple for the result. If this thing happens, that thing happens. Or that thing happens if this thing happens. We use the 0 conditional to talk about things that are always or generally true or boring scientific facts. If you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. Boring scientific fact. So think of the 0 conditional like this toy gun. If you pull the trigger, the gun goes bang. The condition has the same result. You can usually replace if with when and the meaning doesn't change. And when is very helpful to talk about your habits. Like when I drink tequila, I usually get a headache. And when I get a headache, I always take aspirin. We often use the 0 conditional to give instructions, using if plus present simple for the condition and the imperative for the result. If you are hungry, eat something. If you need help, call me. If it's after midnight, don't call me. And remember, the order of clauses is not fixed, so don't call me if it's after midnight. Seriously, don't call me. So let's take a look at first conditional. Okay, first conditional. We use if plus present simple for the condition and will plus base verb for the result. If this thing happens, that thing will happen. We use the first conditional to talk about a possible situation in the future if the condition happens. If I study, I will pass the exam. I will pass the exam if I study. Think of it as making future plans or predictions based on realistic conditions. Let's compare it to a 0 conditional. If I drink tequila, I get a headache. It's generally true. If I drink tequila, I will get a headache. Now I'm predicting a future result based on the real condition if I drink tequila. Or, if I'm tired, I'll drink some coffee. Or, if it doesn't rain on the weekend, I'll go to the beach. You can also replace will with other modals. If it doesn't rain, I might go to the beach. If I save money, I can buy a new laptop. If you get a headache, you should take an aspirin. Remember, be going to is a super common future expression, and you can use it to replace will. If it doesn't rain on the weekend, I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to order a pizza if I don't have time to cook. Okay, half time, pop quiz. Do we use when in a 0 or first conditional? 0 conditional. Do we use a 0 or first conditional for a future possibility? First conditional. If I change the order of clauses, does the meaning change? No, it doesn't. Is my previous question a zero or first conditional? Zero conditional, because I'm asking about a general truth. Okay, so that's it for the first conditional, predicting a likely result in the future if the condition happens. So let's take a look at second conditional. Okay, second conditional. We use if plus past simple for the condition and would plus base verb for the result. If this thing happened, then that thing would happen. We use the second conditional to talk about hypothetical or unlikely situations in the present or the future. Think of it as the what if conditional. What if I won the lottery? Or what if I could fly? These are not realistic, but they're fun to think about. For example, if I won the lottery, I would travel the world. If I had more time, I would make more videos. If I were you, I would subscribe to the channel. But I'm not you, so please subscribe to the channel. Notice how I said if I were you, not if I was you. So it is correct to use were in a second conditional after if to express a hypothetical situation. But it's okay to say was, because if my friend was here, we would be drinking mojitos. You can also replace would with might or could. If I won the lottery, I might buy a small island. If I had more time, I could make more videos. Now, you can also use could in the condition to express an ability. If I could play the guitar, I would be in a rock band. Alright, so that's it for second conditional, hypothetical situations in the present or the future. So let's take a look at third conditional. Okay, we're almost there. Third conditional. We use if plus past perfect for the condition and would have plus past participle for the result. If this thing had happened, that thing would have happened. Now, we use the third conditional to talk about hypothetical situations in the past. These situations didn't happen. It's like, what if the past were different? Or what if I could change the past? Remember the toy gun? I pulled the trigger and the gun went bang. But now I'm imagining a different past. If I hadn't pulled the trigger, the gun wouldn't have gone bang. Let's break this down. If I hadn't pulled the trigger, I'm imagining that I didn't pull the trigger, but in reality, I did. The gun wouldn't have gone bang. I'm imagining the gun didn't go bang, but it did, because I pulled the trigger. For example, if I had studied, I would have passed the exam, but I didn't study, so I failed. If I hadn't drunk the tequila, I wouldn't have been sick. Now, I really regret drinking the tequila. And like before, we can replace would have with might have or could have. If I had known about the party, I might have gone. If I had saved money, I could have bought a new laptop. Okay, pop quiz. Which conditional uses past simple? Second conditional. Does the second conditional express the past? No. Which conditional expresses past regrets? Third conditional. Are second and third conditionals hypothetical? Yes. I've put together a quiz to see if you really know your 0, first, second, and third conditionals. And there'll be a link to it up here or down there. I will sort that out. But that's it for today, guys. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what English topic you'd like to see me cover next. So, thanks everybody. See you for the next one.